Do not worry, my friends, I am still alive. Sure, I am just barely still alive, but I can talk now, and I do not need to get into a big coughing fit every 30 seconds, so this illness, this whatever it is that I was able to get Wednesday night, it is slowly getting defeated by the immune systems and microbodies inside of my body, so let's talk about some hockey, shall we? Of course, you already know from the title and from the thumbnail, today we are heading over to Pittsburgh and talking about this lovely individual right here. Erik Karlsson of the Pittsburgh Penguins, 35 years old, 6 feet 190, right-handed guy, making $11.5 million a year till the end of 2026-2027. He has 2 more seasons at this dollar amount. And last year, he put up 53 points in 82 games played. The past 2 seasons, he has been a 50-plus point defenseman, which, of course, follows up a 100-point year that he had with the San Jose Sharks in 2022-2023. You can debate that in San Jose, things were a little bit iffy because you had Karlsson and Burns, both of these guys kind of stepping on each other's toes. It's no surprise that once Burns ended up leaving San Jose, that is when Karlsson popped off for the 100-point year. You can debate the same thing or a similar thing is happening in Pittsburgh with the presence of Chris Letang. But of course, all right-handed defensemen aside, Erik Karlsson is still a valuable name who is garnering some trade interest. Let's go out there and read an article in rg.org, as well as look at a few tweets that give us the latest as to the Swedish defenseman and what teams are vying for him. Starting things off, we had Jeff Marek on the sheet. This was posted by NHL Rumor Report yesterday. Regarding Erik Karlsson, he has always been attached to the Panthers. Every year it was, the Panthers are interested in Karlsson. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if he's going to move somewhere, maybe throw a dart over there. The top reply from BK Hockey Talk says, no room in the lineup, no room under the cap, absolutely no shot. Bill Zito unloads a couple of guys to create space for Erik Karlsson, of all people. They're going to have to trade Evan Rodriguez anyway. Dumbest crap I've heard all week. How would that work cap-wise? They're forced to trade Rodriguez just to get under. Pittsburgh would have to retain 80%, and they would have to send Samoskevich, Luostarinen, and a first. Got it. And then I think one of the more reasonable replies, that's not lashing out at the poster here. I just don't see it happening with Ekblad and Jones already on the right side. Add in the lack of cap and even assets because they will need a lot of retention. So, Panthers? Panthers anybody? Who knows? Another tweet by NHL Rumor Report goes over what Chris Johnston said on the CJ show regarding Erik Karlsson. He is willing to be moved. Pittsburgh views him rightly as an asset. More of an asset the closer he is to the end of his deal. It becomes a pretty movable object. It just might not be this summer. Talk about objectifying players, eh? You heard it here first from Chris Johnston. The Pittsburgh Penguins are using Erik Karlsson, and they view him as an object. Okay, all joking aside, this makes sense. The closer you get to the end of the deal, the less of a burden his contract seems to be. Maybe only 1 year left at 11.5 is not that bad compared to 2 years left at 11.5. But of course, we have to recognize that Erik Karlsson does provide some value offensively, and you can debate as to how much that is, of course, but still, it's really up to you and how you view your own teams as to whether or not you would see Erik Karlsson as an appropriate fit. Speaking about teams, we already spoke about the Florida Panthers. Let's talk about this post made by James Murphy on rg.org. A source says that the Toronto Maple Leafs are among multiple teams interested in Erik Karlsson. Key takeaways from this article: the Maple Leafs continue to look for another offensive-minded defenseman. Erik Karlsson is reportedly on their trade radar, sources told RG. Karlsson is also garnering interest from numerous NHL teams, including the Red Wings and the Stars. So, 4 teams, I guess. Toronto, Detroit, Dallas, and Florida. Let's go out there and read what this NHL source told RG. There's more than just hearsay when it comes to the Leafs and Erik Karlsson right now. There's probably going to be salary retained, but the thought that there is some kind of bad blood between Dubas and the Leafs still that would prevent something like that is crazy. This is a business, and if there's enough interest from both teams and they figure out the cap hit and the money, then that is all that matters. The idea of bad blood the source is referring to is the fact that current Penguins GM Kyle Dubas was fired by the Maple Leafs 2 years ago. As the source pointed out, though, this is a business and the water is under the bridge. Look, Brandon Shanahan is gone, and the guy that replaced him wants and needs to take this team deep into the playoffs. This isn't about Dubas' history with Toronto. It's about winning and business. That's why, as you reported, the Leafs are interested in a guy like Dougie Hamilton. They need that offense from the back end. They need that guy on the power play. Can they make the cap hit and the cap space work? That's what matters here. And the Leafs got to make up that offense with Mitch Marner gone. Scrolling down past the Dougie Hamilton conversation, there also is a little piece here at the end. There have been numerous reports that the Detroit Red Wings have expressed interest in Karlsson on the NHL trade market. The aforementioned NHL source told RG in a recent trade chatter that they also have the Anaheim Ducks, Mammoth, and Dallas Stars also being interested in Karlsson. Oh boy, even more teams over here. Can you imagine Anaheim grabbing Erik Karlsson and adding him onto their squad? That would be crazy. Karlsson has 200 goals and 670 assists in 1,084 NHL regular season games, and 8 goals and 45 assists in 67 playoff games. He is 15th all-time in points by a D-man, and second amongst active NHL D-men. He has won 3 Norris trophies. His best season, points-wise, came in 22-23, where he won the Norris with 25 goals and 76 assists for 101 points in 82 games for the San Jose Sharks. So, obviously, there is a good body of work here that Karlsson has accomplished, but I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this assessment here? The fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Dallas Stars, Detroit Red Wings, Anaheim Ducks, Utah Mammoth, and Florida Panthers are all reportedly interested in acquiring Erik Karlsson and his services. Do you think that one of these teams makes a better fit for Karlsson than the rest? Which team do you think that is? And which team do you think has the best assets for Pittsburgh to grab onto in this situation? Detroit, if you want to talk about the Red Wings, I mean, they have a lot of young dudes, a lot of prospects. If Kyle Dubas and the Penguins are interested in youth, then I guess the Red Wings are one of the teams to call. And then, of course, thinking about having Erik Karlsson alongside of a Albert Johansson, for example, he would be the perfect mentor for an Axel Sandin Pellikka. There's a lot to like about the idea of Erik Karlsson and the Detroit Red Wings, but of course, that's just me going out there and spitting. We know a lot of Red Wings fans have been in the comment section of my videos talking about how they like or dislike this idea, so I guess we can continue that discourse here, eh? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Erik Karlsson and this trade update in regards to Toronto, Detroit, Dallas, Anaheim, and more. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.